traffic and transit update.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 6:28:23. See how the lighting is. Look at that. Some blue skies up there. Today we have a smog alert from Canada still. It's now, what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks! Well, this is the first one we've had since, whatever. We haven't had one in 2 weeks, but I'm just saying this is just going to affect us, throughout the entire fucking summer? Is that what it is? Coming in on the 4th of July weekend? People are getting paranoid. I'm seeing it. I'm breathing fine. We're at 61. I forgot what the initials were. Metric pollution level unit. Whatever it is. And I meant to look this up. I'm sorry I didn't, guys. But I'm going to bring it up anyway because I don't give a fuck. COVID, what was the size of the particles? Okay? And why weren't we alerted? With the air condition all the time. We should have been. I'm alerted now. Every fucking half an hour, I get an alert on my goddamn phone. Sorry. It's hard. It comes out, man. What am I going to do? I ran in today with... she's 102 years old. And I tried. I started asking, basic questions about school and... and I told her I know who God is. Well, not that I know who God is, but I know we have a one God. And she's like, do you know who your God is? And she wanted me, she started going into Jehovah's Witness and everything like that. But anyway, it doesn't make a difference. My point is, she's 102 years old. She's got pretty much, her voice is fine. If you were to listen to her on the phone, you would have never even known this person broke 100. You know what I mean? I was quite amazed with the shape that this woman was in. But she was getting in with the Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff like that. You could tell she's starting to suffer from dementia, which is a shame. But I tried to get into some questions with her, about, what your school was and what you taught in science. And she just brushed over him, or maybe she just didn't want to deal with it. So anyway, I tried. What am I going to do? There's only so much a flat earther can do with so little time to do it with, because they've consumed all of our time, okay, with bullshit. Got people looking at their watch every 5 minutes, waiting for a sandwich at a deli. Where are you going? What are you doing? Are you going back to work? Going shopping? What are you doing? Why are you looking at your watch every 5 minutes? I don't even wear one anymore at this point. I don't see any point, I just don't. I don't even wear jewelry anymore. You become so different when you become a flat earther. I still like jewelry. Hell, look, if somebody gives me a gold chain, yeah, sure, I'm going to wear it. But I told you remember I lost mine at the beach, so that's gone, and I'm not going to spend $2,500 to get a new one, because that $2,500 is allocated to other places, so it doesn't make a difference. Okay. What happens if, and I encourage this, what happens if somebody actually goes out and does a little research? When we were told that the sun reflects off of the moon. Okay. All right. And what happens if somebody finds out that it's projecting cold light? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Doesn't make any sense at all. So that person, like ourselves, flat earthers, will say, wait a minute, somebody fucked up here. Look at this guy, he's got to be like 60 years old, a convertible Mercedes, driving like a fucking 20-year-old. Stoned. What an irresponsible son. Must be, yes, it must be the shots. They're kicking in nice. They're all kicking in now. How was that one? How was it? 4, 5? How many did you get? They're kicking in. Nice. They're starting to get into the brain. It's like Lyme disease, That's right. If you don't hit it soon, it gets into the brain and you're fucked. So you were told that the sun and the moon both have a relationship together. One's reflecting off of the other one. Okay, so there shouldn't be really any temperature at all. But why is there a decrease of temperature of the light of the moon? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't prove flat Earth, but it does prove that there's no relationship between the sun and the moon. And it proves that the teachers have been telling you and steering you in the wrong direction, making you think that these both have a relationship together. When somebody looks at that, does that wake them up? I don't know. I didn't even know it was there until I was a flat earther. So I don't know if somebody sees that for the first time. Who knows? But it would start to people would start to question this. People also would start to question it when they're looking at NASA. Okay, and they're looking at the astronauts that are both complete idiots and actors, and that's all they are, under an oath, which if they break, they're dead. One says they see stars, the other one says they don't see stars. There's so much inconsistency with these interviews that it just doesn't make any sense at all. Somebody would have to research that and look at it and understand it in order to unravel the lies that are out there. Someone would have to look into NASA and look at the videotape footage that hasn't aged well at all and really look at it. Look at the harnesses. Look at them grabbing. Look at things disappearing. Look at, if you know anything about CGI and you know anything about blue screens, the best way to do something is to have a blue screen in back of you and have something there, and people think it's there when they look at it in the camera. They wouldn't even know. Okay? Because they were saying to themselves, why would NASA lie about something like this? Well, then my question is, why are they showing any of this? Is my question. Of them doing absolute dick up in space. No purpose at all whatsoever. They're working so hard up in space, but yet they're fucking walking around with putting monkey suits on, bringing up stuffed animals, guitars. They're doing dick because there is no space. They're not up there. There's nothing up there. Okay? Well, then people will ask, what about satellites? Well, there's satellites up there, but they're not in space. They're being held up by balloons that NASA's had for several decades now. They've been doing this. And that's why they're the largest consumer of helium in the world. Because their space shuttle is helium. That's not real. That's bullshit. That's got helium inside of it. Those rockets are there for show. That's all that they're there for. The thing goes up in the air, these rockets go off. It's a little show. It's a fireworks show. That's why I don't understand why they don't put these things on the 4th of July, to really give somebody a show. So we can all see it. They say, well, if the Earth is flat, why can't I see the space shuttle in the air? We should all be able to see it. Yeah, you're right. But the problem is the air is 90% water, or 80% water, I believe. It's like going in a pool and looking down the pool. You can't see more than, really, clearly, 20 or 30 feet in front of you. Okay? That's the same with air. It's the same fucking thing. Well, then what's behind the dome? What's going on there? Well, the Bible says water. And I'm probably going to have to agree with that. But I don't know where the stars are. Okay? That's the one thing I don't know. I don't know if they're actually in the firmament or if they're a projection. Because you don't see the stars when you get to a particular altitude. And that doesn't make any sense. Okay? First off, as far as I'm concerned, if you live on a fucking ball and you had a real sun that was 93 million miles away, you shouldn't be able to see a fucking thing. It should be saturating the entire sky. You shouldn't be able to see any stars at all whatsoever. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. I mean, there's just so many things that if somebody really looked at it they could see it, and that's why so many people are turning into flat earthers now at this point. It's not a question of turning into one. It's the question of understanding it. Okay, you're not flipping your religion or anything like that. What you're doing is you're finding the truth. And when you find the truth, that's where you find yourself. The plausible possibility of beyond flat Earth. This is something that I've spoken about in the past, and it's something that I know exists. And that, of course, is that we live in a digital world, and that everything is programmed here. I got a couple questions for you, just simple questions. Come on, let's have a go at it. Come on, check it out. Come on, a couple of simple questions. All right, like for example, trees. Okay, why isn't there an upside down tree? A tree growing in the ground. Why? And the roots coming out. Why is that? Why isn't it? There should be one deformed tree out there, right out of all the trees that are on this flat plane. There should be at least one, but yet there's not. And that's the programming that you're in right now. Why do all birds build a nest? How do they know this? Do they talk to each other? I don't know. No, they're programmed. Why do all ants build a farm? Who knows? Why do fish run in schools? Who knows? That's why they'll try to make you think the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are running in schools, in herds. Right. They never existed either. You didn't come out of fucking the ocean. You weren't a fish. You didn't come from a monkey. Sorry. Look at the eyeball. Look at the eyeball. Go ahead. Ask Google. Go ahead. Speak out to it. Google, could you tell me the origin of the eyeball? Oh, and they'll have pages and pages. And that came from a fish in the water. Bullshit. You see, the programming that our creator has created here is absolutely incredible. That everything works the way it does. Everything is programmed. The way dogs act, the way cats act, they all act the same. Animals react exactly the same. But when you interact with them yourself, you think they kind of are acting differently, but they're all programmed. Basically they are. It's almost like the NPCs that are running around here. Some of them are real wackos. I see these people down in the city, and sometimes these shorts come up. I hate fucking shorts because you can't get rid of them on your history. You don't want them on your history, You got to press this little fucking button to try to get rid of them. But, you see these guys just like all over the place. And I think to myself, what the fuck is that? Is that a real person? Or is that a person paid to do that? To act like that? Is that how their brain works? Or are they on drugs? And most of them are, unfortunately. But still, even if you are on drugs, to still act like that, you must have been off your rocker to begin with anyway. So these are just things that I think about. That person, I don't know, but unfortunately they do multiply too. They have kids sometimes, and we don't know where they are, but I'm getting off the fucking subject. I don't know how I get into this. But, it's so obvious that we live in this digital world. It's so perfect. And the powers, that run this world, they know all of this. And they don't know how the program works. And they could never figure it out. Nobody could ever figure it out. The creator wouldn't allow you to figure it out. Just like the firmament that's out there. If they've gotten to the firmament, great. It's like being a fish and getting to the glass wall. What are you going to do? I mean, really, what are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to try to blow it up. That's what they did. That's what they tried to do. Then you're going to have to try to cut through it. And that's what they tried to do. That wasn't successful. It healed itself. Whether that was true or not, I have no idea. But, all these things are just so obvious that we live on a flat plane. It's just too much. None of this would exist if we lived on this happy-go-merry ball. in space. Everything's perfect. The government's, semi-corrupt a little bit, but there wouldn't be any corruption. You know what I mean? I'm convinced it would be like a Star Trek world, the next generation. I mean, really. I'm fucking rambling on here, but I don't know. I had some more things to say, but I didn't write them down, and I lost my train of fucking thought. Damn it. All right, I'll get into it tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so. Oh, and a happy 4th of July. And guess what? We won't be doing anything on the 4th of July. We're not even going to be going away up to the safe house. We're going to be staying probably down here. Look at this son of a bitch. This is exactly what I'm talking about with people who don't know how to drive. They'll put their ticker on, get into a lane on a major highway to signal that they're getting off of the highway, but then they'll jump right out in front of you when you think they're passing, or that you think you're going to pass them. It's just so bad. I mean, I don't know what people are thinking anymore. I really don't. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.